Well, hello. This is our Stein's at Home spring monkfish box. We start with mussels with tomato and chilli, and then the main course, which is our monkfish with crushed potatoes, olive oil and watercress, and finally an Eton mess with strawberry compote. Lovely. And here are the mussels. They need a little bit of preparation because they've got little, what we call beards, or the technical name is a byssus. So you just have to go through the mussels and just pull the byssus out, pull the beard out. A lot of them haven't got anything on them, so you can put them straight in the water just to wash them off a little bit. There's one, you see. Need to pull that out. These are very nice and fresh. I mean, actually the easiest way to tell whether mussels are fresh is just the smell of them. They should be very, very appetizing, which these are. You will find from time to time that one or two of them might be a little bit open. And the thing to do is just to get one. There's one that's a little bit open. Just give it a bit of a squeeze. It doesn't ever go like that tight shut, but as long as it closes a little bit, you know they're alive. Okay, there's the last one. So now then, to cook the mussels, well, first of all, I've got my pan on here. So you'll find there's a little container like that, which is chilli, garlic and olive oil. So I'm just going to heat those up a little bit in the pan for about 20 seconds. I don't want it any more than that, because otherwise the garlic will go a little bit sulphury, a bit like Chinese food. Throw in the mussels. Pretty impressive. Whack up the heat. So those are really starting to cook. I'm just going to add the white wine now. Okay. And lid on, and we just cook those for about 2 minutes. They're smelling very, very nice. I love going like that. Delish. Right, they're just about ready to go. And now I'm going to add the tomato and parsley, and just add those at the end like that. Take off the heat, and then just turn it around a couple of times. And now just to dish them up. So there you are. What could be nicer than that? So now the main course, and this is what all the fuss is all about. This is roasted monkfish with crushed potatoes with watercress. And I'm going to start by doing the crushed potatoes. Now we've already cooked these new potatoes and covered them in olive oil. So all you've got to do really is to reheat them. And while I'm waiting for those to heat up, I'm just going to cut up the watercress. I don't know whether it's the mixture of the watercress and the potatoes, or whether it's the olive oil. It's just a very, very satisfying dish, this. Let me just have a look at the potatoes now. So as they begin to heat up, I'll just get my potato masher, just give them a bit of a crush. It looks a bit rough, but it'll taste wonderful. Now that's come with plenty of olive oil, but I'm just going to add a little bit more because you can't have enough olive oil in this particular dish. And now I'm just going to throw in my chopped up watercress, copious amounts of pepper, and now I'm going to check it for salt. Have a bit of a taste. Ready to go. Good. And now for the monkfish. I call it roasted monkfish, but quite often when I'm roasting a fillet of fish, I'll start off in a frying pan just so that I can get some colour in the fillet. Now what I'm going to do first of all is just dry these fillets a little bit. So first of all, I'm just going to put a bit of oil. I'm using olive oil, but you can easily use vegetable oil here. It doesn't really make a lot of difference. Put those in the pan, like that. And what I've got here is a non-stick frying pan that I can put in the oven. And I think most pans these days you can do that. If you can't, do feel free just to put the monkfish straight in the oven on a tray. But as I said, I like to give it a bit of colour in a pan first of all. Also what I like to do is plenty of pepper. I'm a bit addicted to pepper and salt. Let that take up some colour. Nice bit of colour on there now. So I'm just going to pop that in the oven at about 200 degrees, and that'll be in there for about 4 to 5 minutes. Good. Have a look at this now. Just be careful when you take it out. Remember that the handle is going to be hot. There we go. Now then, I don't know whether you've got one of these, but I always check temperatures with a probe. So that's about just over 60, which is perfect. You don't want to overcook the monkfish. So now what I'm going to do is something a bit special. One of the other reasons for starting a roasted monkfish dish in the pan is that you do pick up a bit of caramelized bits and bobs in the pan when you initially fry it, and that actually makes quite a nice little sauce, funnily enough. So just put that onto my heat here, and I'm just going to get a bit of water now to deglaze the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to actually make a sauce with the dressing, which is quite trendy. We're just going to add all that in there, bring it to the boil. So there's my sauce, not too hot this time. Now then, just slice the monkfish just slightly on the bias like that. So that's ready to go. So on my plates now I've got my warmed crushed potatoes, and then just put the fish sort of slightly resting on it, partly on it and partly off it. I always like to put a bit of the dressing on the fish and the rest around the outside. So that is my roasted monkfish with crushed new potatoes and watercress. So the dessert, Eton mess with strawberry compote. So Eton mess, as you probably know, is just whipped cream with broken up meringues and whatever fruit you want to put into it, which time is a slightly sweetened strawberry compote. So first of all, to whip the cream. It's quite a generous lot of cream, but we like to err on the side of generosity, so I'm just now whipping this cream to soft peaks, which will take about 3 or 4 minutes. When you're whipping cream, you just keep going until you can easily see the marks of the whisk in the cream, which I can begin to see, and then you whip it to soft peaks. You could of course do this with an electric whisk, but it's so quick and easy to do it that it's probably, there we go, there's the soft peak. So now take my meringues, just break them up like that. And you do this at the last minute, because if you put the meringues in sometime before, they'll just dissolve into the cream, which is not what you want really. Now then, have a bit of a fold. Lovely. There we go. And now we're just going to put the compote in. Fold that in. Look at that. So there we have it. Lovely English pud. Eton mess with strawberry compote. So that was our Stein's at Home spring monkfish box. And we started with mussels with tomato and chilli, and then the roasted monkfish with crushed potatoes and watercress, and finally Eton mess with strawberry compote. Delicious, I think you'll find.